Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel, everyone. As always, Rich is doing another video on XRP today. I hope everyone is having a great day wherever they are in the world. We're going to talk about XRP, and I have to start with this from John Squire CZ, who drops the bomb. What if the current bull run wasn't what we're witnessing? XRP is designed for the potential onset of the real bull market. This is something I've been saying for some time. I believe that XRP's recent performance was only a correction in November. The best part of this run, in my opinion, is still yet to come. This cycle, I believe that the launch of XRP will be nothing short of spectacular. You must be present for that. I'm telling you, don't let this market scare you. Don't be shaken by other people. Every time the price of XRP drops, I see a lot of people who are skeptical. Those individuals are either very emotional and frustrated or overly invested, remain upbeat, because the future holds amazing things. We're now past the worst of what we've experienced. Remember the crypto crackdown and the collapse of FTX in 2022-2023 and the majority of 2024. Crypto appeared to have no chance of gaining traction. Then when the election rolled around, the whole market suddenly turned around. However, I continue to believe that was merely a correction in the price of XRP. Believe we still have a ways to go. The amount of XRP that is left is not well known. 37.3%, 37.3 billion XRP, Ripple escrow, 3.5 billion, 3.5%, Ripple liquid. Chris Larsen, 2.3%, 2.3 billion. 1.3% for Arthur Britta. Almost 44.4% of the supply has already been accounted for. The institutions must then be examined. ETF now has 29.6 million XRP for this reason. An additional 45 million XRP is held by 3IQ. These are little businesses, which is the finest part. Not titans worth trillions of dollars. At best, retail might account for 15% of the entire supply. XRP disappeared into cold storage after JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Goldman, Enna, and billions more. For the record, the current price of XRP is $2.91. He posted this at that time. He will return to quote this again. What we're seeing, in my opinion, is BlackRock gaining behind the scenes, acquiring behind the scenes at JP Morgan. The same is true of Goldman Sachs and other firms. I believe that scarcity will arrive sooner than most people anticipate. Examine the businesses that are producing XRP treasuries. Once more, they are not particularly large businesses. Hold off on using XRP for cross-border payments until the major corporations have started establishing XRP treasuries. A network effect will start as soon as one joins. Because it addresses a real-world issue, all of the major financial institutions and retail behemoths will suddenly want to own this coin. By encouraging blockchain adoption in the UK, Breaking Managing Director at Ripple Casey Craddock says the company is well positioned to use its robust transatlantic footprint to promote tech innovation and collaboration from the US to the UK. You can already see what's happening. You can view Ripple's direction. You can see the direction of XRP. Come on, the president just arrived. Scott Bessant, our treasurer, was visiting us from the UK. Ripple was also present. In the US, Ripple also had a meeting with the Treasury. Ripple doesn't just show up to these large roundtable gatherings. The construction of tracks between the US and the UK is the main focus of all that is going on at the moment. The bridges between the US and the EU were undoubtedly established a long time ago. Everything is being prepared for the new financial system's ascent. Furthermore, you don't need to know anything more given that Ripple is positioned in these ways and seated at these round tables. XRP is already your vision of the future. What would happen if Swift changed to match B speeds? When Ripple discovered this child, a crucial question was, what if we did a big update to compete with Ripple? They know that's how they answer this question. That's how we view things, sort of. By the way, in response to your query regarding Swift, the issue with that viewpoint is that Swift solely handles data. The value is handled by their correspondent banking partner, and that eliminates any notion of a valuable internet. The main idea here is that the correspondent, where all the juice is, can be eliminated by using something like Interledger and XRP. All of the rubbish is there. The settlement risk is located there. Failures are found there. The time is over there. In actuality, Swift lacks the necessary set of skills to accomplish what you're describing. Swift is unable to compete with XRP or RippleNet. Swift just handles the data, as Chris Larsen just stated. And what were they doing? In order to pass the data across for Chainlink to handle, they collaborated with Chainlink. In order for Ripple to handle the settlement process, they will forward the settlement to them. In reality, Swift only handles messages. These days, Ripple handles both settlement and processing. To put it another way, they could manage the entire procedure without hiring a third party. However, because Chainlink and Ripple have completely different use cases, they are not in competition. Almost 3 out of 4 American cryptocurrency owners want the US to be the leader in digital assets. They see how crypto makes systems faster, more transparent, and less expensive. Which one is the most important to you? If you could choose just one, it's the cheaper price, most people would argue. Consider it, inflation is still something we are battling. To make ends meet, the majority of people work 2 or 3 jobs. The majority of individuals would just respond, I wouldn't really care about the faster systems so much as the cost if they could lower it. Transparency. You want to confirm that a payment is indeed being processed when you send it. You also desire the openness, because you're curious about what's happening during the entire procedure. But I believe the majority of people would still go with the less expensive option. And that's one of the functions of cryptocurrency. It eliminates all intermediaries. There will be big moves soon. Trump's gold reserve is considering tokenizing gold with XRP. Blockchain speed meets physical gold, value from the real world, moving through the XRP ledger. This goes beyond adoption. A new era in finance has begun. Listen to this out. He adds that money can be made out of gold. The United States is now working on this. And I would agree that it's likely at least a concept that's being discussed as to how we can get rid of the $35 trillion in debt that is denominated in US dollars and use that money for other purposes. Using a tokenized real-world asset, to be honest, and turning gold into cash once more. Gold might be turned into cash just as simply as a CBDC. Either XAUT or Pax Gold might be directly to the right. It's tokenized too. Once more, the topic of discussion is Tether, which is distinct from that trust model, is more peculiar. I believe that if you can get the older folks engaged, like Lloyds and the true ones, but also get like Brinks and StoneX, and some of these companies that, hey, have been in business for 700 years and have never had a stolen box, then that's what will happen. Exactly. This enables them to state, look, we receive audits and attestations on a regular basis. There is a lot of gold here, you know. Then because you can tokenize down to whatever you need it to be, you can literally transact in a subcent of gold, which is actually bad news for silver. If so, they are already aware that they are striving to tokenize gold. I do not believe that gold will be the currency of the future. I believe they will back a digital dollar with gold, because a digital dollar with gold backing will undoubtedly be better than the one we currently have. That actually made me giggle because the current dollar is constantly losing value. In other words, you might save money, and it will actually lose value over time if you leave it there for a few years. Tokenized gold is a concept that many people find objectionable since it turns the gold into a digital currency. What then happens to their valuable Bitcoin? It becomes even less relevant. Additionally, tokenized gold will be seen moving around the XRP ledger. That will take place. Additionally, gold-backed currencies will be seen moving throughout the XRP ledger. What is China attempting to accomplish? Their goal is to create currency that is backed by gold. Why, in your opinion, have all of these central banks been purchasing so much gold in recent years? Since they will ensure that we return to an asset-backed system. There won't be any more petroleum dollars or dollars that keep losing value. And this is how I believe China views it. The BRICS as gold-backed currency would be preferable to the US dollar as it stands today. And this post was excellent. Thus, September 2022 will be followed by September 22nd, 2025, a historic statement. Over a 10-year period, 5,000 XRP, $15,000 stored in the XRP ledger, and DeFi could easily turn you into a millionaire without taking any risks. I thought, okay, I get this when I first saw this. This is about making the most of your XRP. This is the presumption. $5K in first XRP. $3 is the current price. Monthly payment of 5% of the annual income in RLUSD. 50% increase in XRP's price. Yearly compound growth rate. Time frame 10 years. Results 106,000.